All right, welcome into the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt. I'm Brandon Lowe. Across from me, my producer, Jack Withrow. We are riding solo today as Ryan is dealing with some things on his end, and we hope everything's okay over there. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
I'm in this freezing studio with you today.
Hey, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, it could be burning up in here, but we are powered by HD Media Sports and Video Productions, and it's been a little bit since you and I have had our own little solo venture of a show.
Yeah.
Like we do football and stuff together, but
Yeah.
we haven't done a radio show in a while.
Face-to-face.
Podcast, a little face-to-face action.
Like Ryan and I did last week. So
You guys did great, man. Doug Scaff said you guys did phenomenal, and I watched the show. I actually watched the whole thing. I sat down and watched it at my desk. I had a lot of stuff going with the 9 to 5, so I couldn't show up today or last week, but Ryan's not here today.
Today's Friday.
Yeah, today's Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Yeah.
What's going on in the UC world, man?
We got, spring sports are winding down. The Mountain East Conference Track and Field Championships
Oh, cool.
are this weekend up at Glenville State.
Very cool.
So Video Productions is streaming all that for the Mountain East Conference.
Yeah,
It's
you
our
were talking
first
about
gig
that.
with them. We're going to break the champagne bottle on the side of the ship and let it sail. Hopefully it stays afloat.
Yeah.
But we
What
got
goes
that.
into that?
Yeah.
What
is
goes
that?
into the track and field, like camera-wise, broadcast? That's got to be a lot.
It is. Of course, we do the WVSSAC State Track and Field Championships,
okay.
so we've got a little experience in doing that. But we've had some meetings with the MEC and the Glenville State people, and
Yeah, that's awesome.
so we've got a game plan. We've got a map. We've been up there and visited the site. We've mapped out where we want cameras.
Multiple shots and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a
That's
lot more
the-
goes on in a college track and field than a lot more events.
Yeah.
College, you got the hammer throw.
Oh, that's
the
one of my favorite
javelin.
events.
Of course, you got the heptathlon for the women, the decathlon for the men.
Yeah.
So you got all that going on. That's a little bit more than what high school does. And then you got your running events and
Shot put.
shot put
Yeah,
still
that's
there.
awesome.
The discus.
It's amazing how far they can throw those things, man. Like just wind up and just crank it.
I'm excited for the hammer throw and the javelin.
Yeah, that's the thing I love. I just love that, just cranking it out. I spoke to Randy Barnes before, and big dude still, and he went into the whole like, it's not just about kind of the muscle parts of what he did. It was more of it's more about the formation and technique.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously got to be strong, but
Yeah.
man, that guy, he's still a mountain of a man. Works at IBM, I think,
Yeah.
or did. I
Of
don't
course,
know,
had
at the
the
time.
Olympic record for
Yeah.
the shot put.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
see his
yeah.
name on McCorkle when you come into the St.
Yes,
Albans.
hometown hero, Randy Barnes of St. Albans. And I talked to him for 2 hours.
Really?
Face to face. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done up there with like Homer Hickam. I know I've interviewed a lot of people, but as far as hometown people, just very cool, man. Humble dude, smart dude. Like Randy Barnes is just an extremely intelligent dude.
Yeah.
And interesting. And of course, he wanted to talk about the situation with the Olympic Committee because everything went down with him. So we went into that whole thing and the conversations that he went into, and it was pretty fascinating stuff, man. That's the type of stuff I really like to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love like the sports side of stuff, I think investigative journalism would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably be good at that.
I don't know. I mean, the backlash that comes with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
always pros and cons to everything. Though,
especially now with the media being looked at the way it is. But, investigative journalism would be pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. But everybody now just concentrates on the celebrity of everything and what's going on in the celebrity world. Like everybody's obsessed with Kanye and, of course, had this whole Trump thing when he was president. And there's just this celebrity factor to journalism now that's just really just eating it alive.
Yeah. But,
So I don't know if I'd fit in.
oh, who knows?
They would put me on PBS. That's the kind of journalism I would do. They're like, this doesn't belong on ABC or any of these publications that people are paying attention to the news. Let's just put this on. Let's put this on Saturday morning after Mr. Rogers' repeat of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like, okay, I can live with that. But no, good to be with you here, Jack. And again, we hope everything's going okay with Ryan. I might even try to see if he'll call. I don't know if he's doing a lot right now. But
we'll take a break here soon and then see what he's
into. We'll see what he's into. But no, watched a little bit of the NFL draft. I'm not into the NFL draft. I'm not. I just it's not my thing. The only time I ever watch is if there's a Marshall, WVU, UC's pumped out a couple kids, later rounds, but yeah, that's the only time I really watch. And of course, we're all waiting to see if Letty Brown, where he goes and what round and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the storyline really was New York teams won the draft. I mean, both the Jets and the Giants did a tremendous job of picking up who they needed in positions. I mean, who would have thought that? The Jets and the Giants, who have been just extremely grossly awful the past couple of years. They did a good job. Who else did a good job? The Lions picked up Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan kid's going to stay close to home and play for the Detroit Lions. I don't know how happy he is or if he's happy about playing for the Lions, but that's the unfortunate part of the draft process. If the team stinks, they get some of the better kids up there coming out of college. Funny one, Lamar Jackson. I don't know if you saw his tweet with it.
Tweeting out something. I saw something.
Yeah, the Ravens. So the Ravens, Hollywood Brown went to the Cardinals. So most people would think, okay, they're gonna get a wideout in this draft, and there was 6 really top graded out wideouts in this draft. 2 of them from Ohio State who went actually back to back, and they draft a safety and a center. And Lamar Jackson puts WTF on the Twitter. It's like, why would you draft a safety and a center? I mean, you could get a safety, you could get a center later on in the draft. Safety wise, I can see that, but you could also get another safety somewhere. If you're missing a number 1 wideout and you got a guy in Lamar Jackson who you're paying top money, who you deem your franchise quarterback, why do you get a center and a safety? Why aren't you helping out your guy Lamar? I don't get it sometimes. So the Ravens whiffed on that. Of course, here locally, the Steelers, looking at the quarterback position, Mason Rudolph, surprise Steelers fans, isn't your franchise quarterback. So obviously they were looking for a quarterback in this draft. They had 3 quarterbacks. They thought maybe potentially at least 2 of them would go in the first round. Only 1 went in the first round. That was Kenny Pickett of Pitt, 20th overall pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Knows his way around the town, so.
Yeah, so Steelers fans, and I find that fascinating all the time because, West Virginians, a lot of them root for Pittsburgh in football, and now you got yourself a Pitt kid coming over to Pittsburgh. I always found that fascinating of the fact that you hate Pitt, but you root for Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. You root for the professional team, and I just never understood why you would do that. Yeah, just because it's close to Morgantown?
I guess. It must be a northern West Virginia thing.
Because down this way, it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
More south, it's the Bengals. Yeah. Like if you're in Huntington or you go down that way, even Ashland, all that area.
Cleveland fans around here too.
Really? I haven't really ran into a lot of Browns fans.
Well, they don't let you know that they're Cleveland fans here lately. So.
Well, they got the.
They did 2 years ago when they were doing.
When they were doing good. Yeah. They got the club, or the little group thing that they do.
Yeah.
Up at B-Dubs, which is it's like AA for Bengals fans, I think, with beer involved. Where they all talk about how Browns fans, how sad they were as Browns fans over the years. Yeah. But yeah,
who'd the Packers get?
The Packers picked up, I believe they picked up some defense.
That's good.
They got a linebacker, a really big linebacker. Who was the kid? I was going to bring him up because Rodgers was asked on Pat McAfee's podcast if he was kind of surprised or shocked or whatever about, if they're going to pick up a wideout because, your boy is no longer there. And he actually gave a nice answer. He said, I trust the process of the franchise and, they'll get us a guy whenever they get us a guy. So, and he said also the wide receivers I just mentioned, the top 6 that graded out at a high grade, they're already taken in the first couple of picks. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You can trade for somebody.
Rodgers, through his time at Green Bay, has always showed that it didn't matter who was out there.
Yeah, he's gonna get you the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he trusts you, he'll throw you the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every great quarterback.
And he puts the ball in the right spots for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when we talk about MVP conversation the last couple of years, and Rodgers winning MVP or whatever, back to back or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you take Rodgers off the Packers, are they?
No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Rodgers would have left when all that stuff was going on, where they were like, okay, is he going to go to San Fran, where he grew up? Same thing with Tom Brady. Yeah. If you take that guy off the Packers right now and start the season, how good are they?
Not very good.
I don't even know who their backup is.
Love.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Which, whatever, but I don't know. I'm.
Yeah. So the Liberty quarterback didn't go.
No, Malik Willis. Is that his last name? I think it's Malik Willis. I think I'm getting
Williams.
I think it's Willis.
Okay.
No, he didn't go, and
that's how much I know about it.
He had a funny tweet too. He said, "What happened to Malik?" or something like that, because he was kind of shouting out like, "Hey, I should have been drafted in the first round." So. Yeah. We'll see. I think somebody will get a steal on him. I think he had the strongest arm in the draft process, the combine. That. He was bombing them. So I think that kid could be good. The thing about the draft, and this is why I really don't pay attention to it, it's why, for separate reasons why I don't care for the college playoff committee stuff and all that stuff is, all this stuff is subjective. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I compare it to recruiting, like when the college level, and then you look at also with the NFL draft, right? Because it's a next level every time. Kids are coming from high school into college, or you're coming from college to the pros. So it's that next level. Everything's kind of different. The speed of the game's faster. There's a lot more involved. At the end of the day, though, once you break it down, it's to its studs. It's still football. Yeah. But if you're looking at, like, we get excited here at W, Marshall, whatever school you root for, when you get a 5-star, 4-star kid. Well, that's great, but what are they going to do when they're there? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't get excited really for recruiting cycles or classes. I'm like, okay, we're 23rd in the country. Great. That looks good on a resume if you're a coach. But it's like these kids coming in the NFL. It's like, okay, they had a phenomenal college career. We've seen so many guys come in that were legends at the collegiate level and just completely just disappear.
Yeah, you see it all the time, and vice versa.
Yeah. And that's why I don't really get that excited. And I don't really have an NFL team, let's be honest. I kind of root for the Bills a little bit.
You got the T-shirt.
Yeah, I got the one T-shirt. I kind of root for the Browns just because I lived in Columbus for a couple years. Yeah. I know a lot of Browns fans. I've been to a Browns game, so I don't really have a team either. So I'm not sitting there with, like, my Jets jersey on, like, waiting for, like, the next pick.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's actually grown men that still do that sit there on their couch anticipating the draft.
I think it's just another reason for them to
drink
eat pizza and drink.
Yeah. That's potentially it.
But
the whole, like, vibe of it is just, it was in Vegas this year, or it is in Vegas, and it's just seeing the people on TV just makes me want to throw up.
So, what's your feelings of grown men walking around in jerseys? Somebody's team jersey.
It's changed over the course, right? I think we all went through kind of our jersey kind of thing. I think it's all. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about. I think it's different in different sports.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, I get it. I
think it's
like
different. Yeah, baseball, like, that looks sharp.
Yeah.
Like if you wore that Charleston jersey back there,
that's a nice one.
That looks sharp.
Pinstripe action.
The football jerseys is a little goofy.
Yeah.
It's a little goofy. Soccer, I kind of get it too, because they're all wearing their soccer jersey. I feel like baseball is the only sport really. Now, you could argue also the guy who dresses like a PJ golfer who hangs out at the bars, who tells people about their 300, 350-yard drive.
Walking around in his FootJoys.
Yeah, with his Nike, shirt he overpaid for and his hat like he's sponsored. Those are probably more annoying than the guy that wears his football jersey. But I will say I've done it. I've worn a football jersey to a game. And in my house, and to a party before, like a football party.
Yeah.
But if you do it, that's your thing.
Watch W or Marshall. And,
sure. Yeah. Whatever makes you happy, man. That's how. But at the
Your
same
buddies
time,
are all there, and you got a little theme going. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I get it from that side, but
Tell you what, though, you know how W, and I'm sure other colleges do this, but they sell their old uniforms and old equipment. And I
yeah.
bought 2 football uniforms. We went up one spring game, and they had to sell. And so me and my buddy, I think there 3 or 4 of us went up.
yeah.
And a few of us bought jerseys. I bought 2 of them. Dude, you ever try to put one of those on?
They're tight.
You can't get them on.
Yeah, they're tight.
So the one buddy was with me, and I won't name names, but he's a big dude.
Don't name names.
So we're like looking at these jerseys and the size, and we're holding them up and everything. And
Yeah.
he's holding up this 97 was the number. So we're thinking that's got to be the biggest jersey, get the
Right.
90s,
Yeah, get a
defensive
D-line
lineman.
guy. Yeah.
And so he's holding it up, and he's like, all right, I think I can get in this. Well, he puts it on in the back seat. We're going to Mario's Fishbowl after this to eat lunch. And so he's putting it on the back seat and gets stuck in it. Like his arms are like this. And those things aren't designed to really one person putting them on.
No.
Actually, they're designed, you put them over your shoulder pads.
Yeah, and then you drop it down.
Yes. So he is stuck, and he's going nuts in the back seat. So we have to pull over on the side of the road, going to Mario's, and almost cut him out of this jersey. This is not designed to be worn like that.
No,
that was just a funny story.
That's great.
So if you ever buy one of those from W or Marshall or whatever your favorite college team, and it's the actual uniforms that jerseys that they wear,
authentic.
Don't put them on.
Yeah, they are.
Give them to your kids. They'll fit.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, you're exactly right about that. You got to put them on the shoulder pads, and then that's why they drop down.
Yeah.
People don't realize that, but yeah, I've looked at those before, and I'm like, man, those are be tough to wear. And now that makes sense with the whole shoulder pad. I never thought about that.
In fact, when we bought these, it was right, I guess 2012 is when they went to the Big 12 from the Big East.
2012, yeah, was the inaugural year.
It was about 2013 then, because these were the old jerseys, still had the Big East emblem on them.
The old style too, with the stripe, kind of like the Denver Broncos
really
carried over too.
Nice jerseys, but
yeah, they're made. When you get those authentic ones that they send you, like if you buy off some website, it's nothing near the quality of those.
These are thick material.
Yeah, because you're getting tackled and ripped apart basically. So Pickett to the Steelers. Hopefully Steelers fans love that. He's probably the best quarterback they've had since Marino, as far as draft stock. I mean, it's probably been that long since they've had a guy where it's like, this guy could be, I don't know when I say legend, but it can be a guy that comes in the NFL and does all right. But we'll see. Again, we don't know what these kids are going to do. I thought something fascinating too. I saw this. Georgia had more draft picks in the first round from their defense than the entire ACC, Big 12, and Pac-12 overall.
Yeah, they had 5.
They had 5. A couple conferences they had 4. Big 12 had 0.
Yeah.
0 first-rounders, by the way, folks, in the Big 12. I mean, what does that say?
Well, I don't know. You just talked about it, though.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. But I'm just thinking, man, the schools like Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, I know Texas hasn't been Texas for a while, but you think there'd be some kid, somebody, offensive lineman, somebody in the first round.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma's got a lot of weapons. I mean, offensively, they're wideouts. Look at all the wideouts they put in the NFL and quarterbacks. So, I don't know. I found that kind of fascinating that the Big 12 didn't have any. Of course, you'll see some in the second round today. A.J. Brown, that was a weird thing. The Titans trade him over to the Eagles, who's like their top wideout, Pro Bowl wide receiver. And then they draft the Burks kid out of Arkansas as his replacement. So they traded up. They traded Brown over to the Eagles and then took the kid from Arkansas.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to pan out. That's strange. I haven't seen it. Normally you'll draft, you'll trade up, you'll trade some more picks, or you'll say, hey, we'll do this for you. But you get rid of your guy at wideout for an inexperienced guy from college.
I don't know. You're right. Sometimes you just don't understand.
That's just
what's
weird.
Going on. Of course,
That's a head
we don't
scratcher.
know what's going on either behind those doors. So.
And then you pay Tannehill a crap load of money, and he just crapped the bed in the playoffs this year against the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals lucked out a couple times to get to the Super Bowl, but, you know, they just completely – I mean, I don't even know what the Titans are doing at this point. But, yeah, A.J. Brown, now an Eagle. That's going to make Philadelphia Eagles fans pretty ecstatic about that. It's really the only thing I had from the draft from the first round.
Did you see Tyke Smith's tweet?
No, I didn't see it.
He was kind of tweeting out the same thing, 5 players being drafted in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia.
No, I didn't see that.
And he's like, and now you guys ask why I transferred.
Okay.
Well, here's the deal. It really doesn't matter where you're at.
No.
I mean, it's not like you're going to go somewhere and you're not going to be seen playing Division I college football.
Yeah, exactly. Nowadays,
if you're good enough, they know you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I would get it if West Virginia. Now, here's the way you look at that. So West Virginia, you see, I hate that argument. That's just blowing my brain up right now because if you were the guy, so I would like to propose this question. So would you rather be the guy on defense, right, that everybody's talking about, you got tons of stock, or would you rather go to a place like Georgia or Bama and be just the 8th guy?
Yeah.
Because where's your draft stock really going to be?
Yeah.
That's what I always argue. I'm like, okay, and then now in the new wave of college football where everybody with at least a Power 5 stamp on their program, they're on national TV. So it's not like you're not getting seen.
Yeah.
If they're not on national TV, they're on some type of streaming app that you can watch.
Yeah.
You don't think college coaches aren't paying attention to that stuff if they hear it? I mean, that's the argument. If you want to say that like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it's a little different because only certain teams got on national TV all the time. Now it's, these teams or these games are in prime time slots, right? That's the only difference now is, they're the 7:30 game.
But still.
That's it. But other than that, you're on TV. No matter what, there's access to you.
NFL executive wants to see you.
They'll see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
And that's why I always say that's not always the answer to go to, Bama, whatever, just because they're pumping out pros like a factory. That doesn't mean you are. That doesn't mean you're next. You also have to go there and earn your spot over guys that are just as good or better than you are right in front of you. Yeah. That's the thing, too, is the competition gets higher as you go to somewhere. And now you're riding the bench when you could have been starting at West Virginia. So, I don't like that argument, man. And that's kind of just ignorant to do after the fact, too. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's like you're hopping on the bandwagon of your teammates who made the NFL.
Yeah, you weren't in there.
You didn't prove anything.
You weren't one of those 5.
Right. If you were drafted in the first round, now you have an argument on your tweet.
Here I am. This is why.
You're going off their accomplishments and acting like, this is why I went to Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing about it, too, back to that whole point is I don't care where a kid wants to play. If you want to transfer out, we've talked about NIL. We've talked about all this stuff. We've talked to coaches about it. I'm all for the kid wanting to play where they want to play, where they're comfortable. I don't care. I really don't care. But what I'm starting to see now, and I don't know if you saw this story, this is the basketball side of things.
Yeah.
The Miami kid. Did you see that?
I did.
The Wong kid?
Yeah.
So he's in the NBA draft process right now, which everybody does that now. Anybody that thinks they have
they get the evaluation.
They get the evaluation. The scouts tell them what they can work on. It's actually a really cool thing that the NCAA put in and allowed to do that.
And they got a certain time that they can declare or come back.
So, and they can get an A or whatever. So his agent, by the way, says that if Miami doesn't give him a better NIL deal, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's where we're at in college athletics. We're having now athletes negotiating and holding bags over the heads.
Well, not just athletes, they have agents.
And their agents, are negotiating. He's the one that made the statement.
I mean, just a few years ago, you couldn't have an agent.
No.
If you got an agent,
you were an amateur athlete, and once you got an agent, you were a professional.
Yeah.
Once you got that was
now
the
we got
dagger.
agents. So, Now they're charging $50 for you to give an interview.
Yeah, exactly. That happened. You know how many people texted me and asked me who that was after watching? I got a ton of them asking me who it was. I let them know. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want to do that. But but yeah, now you got people, you got players and whoever charging for interviews and whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm all about empowerment. I'm for it, empowering.
Yeah.
There's just like we have to do something with this because when you got a kid negotiating, because what happened was
I think the guy that's they called him a millionaire. He's probably a donor to Miami.
No, I didn't.
Said, and he named the company, and I forget the company's name. That had an NIL contract with this kid.
Okay.
He said, "Well, they're treating him right, and fair.
Sure.
We will not negotiate." So I'm thinking this guy maybe is a part of this company.
Okay.
He said, "We will not."
He's speaking on behalf of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what happened, and I'm sure you read this. So, Nigel Pack from Kansas State transfers into Miami. It was rumored that he was given a $400,000 NIL deal plus a car. So once that rumor went out, it got caught wind of, I'm sure, multiple players and multiple people. But Wong and his agent was like, okay, we want something better because we've been here and I was in the Elite 8 team and all that stuff. We've proven ourselves. So that's that whole thing, and that's the part. Again, get your money, negotiate, whatever. But that's the part that we're going to have to figure out. And when I say we, somebody, and again, the NCAA is just like in a broom closet somewhere, and their president's about to step down anyway.
Where are they?
I don't even know where they're at this point. But that's where we're at, is negotiations between going professional or going to another school, and I couldn't believe $400,000, by the way, for going from one school to another school is unbelievable.
Well, you saw what Oscar Sheboy.
I didn't see his. What was his
Somebody
deal?
saying $2 million.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty high. I didn't see the number.
To stay at Kentucky.
Yeah, and
I think that's to not declare for the NBA.
Yeah.
Not to go somewhere else.
The funny part about that is all the people on social media be like, see, he really does care about Kentucky. He loves it here. Yeah, he loves the $2 million he's getting paid.
I'll keep my opinions to myself. So
we don't do that on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good.
Go on. As you wear your NCAA shirt hat.
Hey, you like my hat, don't you? That right there is an official NCAA.
I see that.
Umpire hat. So
I see that. Did you steal that too?
I did not steal it. It was left behind.
Jack likes to just if something's.
If I didn't pick it up, somebody else. Somebody would have got into somebody's hands that does not know how to take care of a hat properly. So, it's in good hands. It's on a good head.
I like it.
It looks good on me.
I like that explanation. That's very nice.
If this doesn't work out for me, maybe I get an umpire's job somewhere out there, Little League maybe. So,
yeah.
Who knows?
He said Little League.
Hey, I've umpired Little League and Babe Ruth when there was Babe Ruth. So, did you see that video the other day on the Twitter? Or maybe it was on TikTok. I can't remember.
On the tweeter?
Yeah. Of the base umpire getting pegged with a line shot right in the leg.
I think so, yeah. I did see that.
Yeah. That happened to me.
You took a shot to the right to the leg?
Yeah, it was 13. I was umpiring. I was just right out of high school when it was 13, 15-year-old. And at that time, it was Babe Ruth there in South Charleston.
Okay.
And my brothers were umpires, so they got me into it. So I was out there on the bases. I'm in my blue and my slacks and
You're
everything.
official.
Oh, yeah. Looking good. Yeah. And a line drive came out, and I had no shot of getting out of the way, and I just had to take it. I wore it, and right in the leg.
Dude.
And I was like, man,
How'd
done.
that feel?
Oh.
Feel great?
Well, how'd you think it felt? Let me drill you with a baseball off the bat.
You're like, thanks.
Yeah.
Feels great. Great day at work here.
Yeah, but then I saw that video there, and I was like, I've been in that situation.
Yeah, there's There's videos where you'll watch them and you're like, you laugh, but then you're like, all of a sudden you just think like, I think that happened to me once. And then you just kind of feel for the people in the video.
Reminded me.
Still laugh, but.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, when we're on this baseball, since we're on baseball, so the whole fight, I saw, there's been a couple of like, well, recently, what was it? The Mets
Cardinals?
and somebody. Yeah, was the Cardinals and somebody fighting. What's up with the baseball fights where they just run out and then they just come to each other and then there's nothing happens? Like they just get in each other's
That's the way it
faces.
is now.
Like why don't they just if you're gonna make the effort to run out and protect your brothers on your team, you know, your teammates, punch somebody at least, lay somebody out. I mean, for me,
they're all out there with calculators. You know that.
they're all out there with calculators.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Calculating fines.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to go out there and I'm, you know, and listen, I know not everybody
they don't
makes
fine you for out there puffing up your chest.
and bumping each other.
They don't. Yeah.
It was just funny because you watch the two teams run at each other and they're just like full speed. Like I'm gonna, you know, I'm
Here's
gonna
the thing
do
I don't
something,
get.
and then it just.
It's the bullpen catcher, which he's probably 42 years old now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He comes running out late.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Well,
he's going to do something.
Yeah,
you know, 5 minutes late.
with his gear on
Yeah.
because he's ready to go in.
Yeah, he's
right?
getting ready to brawl.
He's gonna go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, he's just barely can walk, can waddle
When
because
the
he has his
bullpen
gear
coach
on.
comes waddling out there.
Yeah, comes running out. Yeah, that's the baseball fights are always just so funny. Fights, there's no fights really. Well, sometimes. There's obviously some iconic ones with a pitcher, you know, hitting somebody and then the guy runs at him. And
Well, the Reds and the Pirates got into it
that's the other one I
a
saw.
couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's recently there's been some really cool foul ball catches in the crowd. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
The guy just stood there with his baby, was feeding his.
I think that was at a Reds game.
Yeah,
too.
it was at a Reds game. He had his baby, he had a bottle, and he just
Snagged it.
like that and just sat there. What a moment for that guy.
Yeah.
I bet he felt like the coolest dude in the stadium. How dare you make fun of me with this
You
baby
see a lot of them
attached to
like
me?
drinking a beer and they catch it.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, that takes some skill. I'll give him credit for that
I'll
because
tell
you
you
never
what.
know where that's coming from.
You ever try to catch a foul ball?
No,
It hurts. Those
I'm
things
sure
are
it
coming
does.
in.
I'm sure
Those
it
are
does.
missiles coming in there.
I'm sure it does, especially at a pro game. Guys throwing it, 90-something miles per hour. It's coming off the bat, 100 or more, right? Isn't that what the trajectory is?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
I don't know, man. I couldn't do it. I get out of the way. I'm not brave enough for that.
and I get laughed
I'd
at.
put a
if
kid in front of me.
if I bring my baseball glove to a game, so I can't do that.
You can't do that? You get laughed at?
Oh yeah.
Is there a certain age limit for that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because if you're a kid, it's cute, but if you're a grown man, it looks weird.
Yeah, so I used to give when Parker was little, I'd give him my baseball glove, sneak it in.
And then you'd put it
Like,
on
nah,
and
it's not
sit
me,
down.
bro. It's my kid.
And then you take it
Let me
from
hold
him
that
and
for you.
Right?
Here's a slushie. Here's some ice cream.
Yeah, let me hold that. Yeah, I
Dippin'
got
Dots.
it.
Let me hold that.
That's a good plan. I didn't know
But
people looked at
nowadays,
you
I mean,
different.
a lot of the stadiums have the netting all the way around, so it's not as dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah, Power Park, man. Like, watch out if you park
Oh, my
in the
gosh.
suite parking, because your car's probably going to get hit.
well,
Or the garage behind
watch
it.
out if you're setting down
Oh, yeah, down there, too.
the two lines.
Yeah, you're
after
right.
The dugouts.
Yeah, you're right, because you could just take one
that's
right out the face.
Oh yeah.
And they've cranked them out, too.
And people don't pay attention.
Nah,
They're
especially
talking and,
especially at those those minor league or whatever. Everybody's kind of hanging out. How about the Dirty Birds? By the way, they're doing well.
yeah.
What are they? 5-1. That was the last record I saw.
Did they finish up 5-2 on their home stand?
I think it was 5. The last I saw was 5-1. I saw somebody who works for them posted on social media. So good for them, man. Nice start.
I see Jay Silverman.
Yeah, Jay. That's who it is. Yeah. So he got to do PA.
Yeah. I did that for
I
one
can't believe
summer.
they're
up
trusting Jay to do PA up there. He's a wild man. That's funny, though. That's the type of guy you want to do PA, though.
there. Yeah.
The guy's fun.
Yeah, I did it in 2019 for the West Virginia Power.
I got a funny story about
And,
PA.
It was fun. It makes it a long summer, though. They were still with the Mariners.
Yeah.
And then they had the Sally League all-star game that summer, which was neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was demanding though. There was a lot of things going on every half inning.
Oh, okay.
So,
but like promotional stuff.
oh yeah,
yeah, like races.
So, what you do, or what we had, was a computer screen. Everything's scripted. What you're saying.
Sure.
After every half inning, be it sponsorships or, games going on down on the field or in the stands. So, that All-Star game was demanding. I mean, because there was so much going on, but it was neat. It was neat.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So I don't know if I've ever told this story on the radio side when we were on the radio or whatever, but so when I was in broadcasting school in Columbus, we went to a semi-pro professional football championship. And, they give you these opportunities when you're in this school or whatever, externships. At the time I was doing a morning show in Columbus, and they gave me an opportunity though to do, because I was interested in sports, I was doing a sports radio show or internet radio show on the student station. So they go, hey, we got this opportunity. You can be a PA announcer at this semi-pro championship. And it was in the middle. It was like, I can't even remember the town it was in, but it was like 40 minutes or 45 minutes outside of downtown Columbus. And I went with a buddy that we go to school with and stuff. And he was going to do, I think he was doing stats or he was doing something. And I was going to do PA. Yeah. And so I go up there and I'm like, man, and apparently this is a big deal to this town. Like this is like the show, when this happens, the town shows. I mean, there was a lot of people there. So I go up there and they're like, all right, here's where you're going to be. I'm like, all right. And here's your sheet of players. Right. And I'm learning. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm in broadcasting school. All I know is what my, whatever, my teachers or whatever, and people show me what to do inside of I've never actually done this before. This is my first time doing this. Yeah. So I'm kind of this wide-eyed,
like a highway engineer coming right out of high school out there on 64.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Just ruining everything. So I come in, and right away I made the mistake of not calling them by their names. I called them 64, 46.
Like when they were coming up the bat?
No. This was football. This was a semi-football.
I'm sorry. So I had my mind on baseball.
So okay. I was just being, PA, and
like tackle by number 46.
Yeah, I'd like tackle by number 46, and then people started looking back at me.
Didn't say their names. Okay.
So I kept noticing people kept looking up, and I was like, "Am I doing something wrong? Did I get the number wrong?" And the one guy who's, I guess, works there all the time or is there, he goes, "Hey, man, this is semi-pro, so you got to say their names." I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know. So then I start calling them by their names, but I kept messing up either their last name or I didn't get it in time because it happened so fast in the sheet. And again, I'm new to this. I didn't know. I wasn't prepared. So then I start going back. I was like, screw it. Number 46 on the tackle. Like, I just went back to the numbers. So they just keep getting, like, angrier and angrier. And at the point where now there's, like, a section of people standing up and just staring back at me going like this. They're that upset over this.
Oh, people get upset.
So it gets worse. So near the end of the game, probably like mid fourth quarter, it was probably late fourth quarter, a guy goes down and gets injured. And they're like, and then my buddy goes, "You know what'd be funny if you played If Country Boy Can't Survive?" And I was like, and then because they had music on, you can play it.
Right.
And I played it. And they went crazy. This crowd would turn around. "What the hell are you doing?" Because I was playing this as this guy's in. I was just trying to be funny with my buddy, right?
Yeah.
Little I know, I just completely upset the whole
it's
area.
Different.
Was
football
just
and baseball.
Pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were pissed.
That might be a good thing in baseball.
Yeah.
People would laugh at that.
Yeah, people would laugh at that.
Yeah.
So they're pissed. At this point, I have people, one guy was yelling like, "I can't wait till you come out of that press box. I'm going to F you up." Like, they're just angry. I was like, whoa. So at the end of the game, we had to have the people that, let us come in there and, they work with the whatever this place, I don't know who did the whole thing. But they told us the coast was clear, right? Because they had to kind of like stood in front of us and people were like throwing stuff at me. and I
just an
just start
intern.
running, dude. Like I just ran.
For the gate?
Yeah, I just ran for the car, like because the parking lot, like the stadium was like over here, and like the parking lot was over here. It was kind of, I don't know, but I ran, dude, and people were throwing like water bottles, and I mean I got pelted in the back of the head. Luckily I didn't get beat up, but yeah, I ran for my life. But that was the first time I was ever a PA announcer for anything. I mean, that was the last time actually. I've never been a PA announcer.
First and last.
But
yeah, people get upset when you mess up
learned.
names.
That's where I learned not to do that.
Yeah, I was doing a high school baseball game at Power Park.
Yeah.
During the same summer, and two local teams were playing, but one of them had a name that you could pronounce 3 or 4 different ways.
Yeah. I always hate that too.
You don't get pronunciation guys in high school. So if you don't know them and you don't have an opportunity to ask, which I didn't.
You said their number?
No.
Oh, okay.
You kind of just go with what you think is right.
Sure.
So we were up there in the press box, and we were all like, well, how do you say this name? And we all like decided, okay, this is how you say it. Well, so first time at the bat, number 33, first baseman, blah, blah, blah. And apparently it was wrong because the fans down below told me that's not how you say it. Well, this is when I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So he comes up again. I say it exact same way that I want to say it. Or we fight. Well, they get even more mad. So third time comes up, I say it again. And like they're screaming at me his actual pronunciation.
I'd imagine.
So the fourth time he comes up, I say it the correct way. Like they want me to say it.
Yeah.
So then they stand up and
Start
applaud
clapping.
me.
Yeah.
So I take my hat off and I stick it out and like wave at them like the old school guys do.
Yeah.
Like a curtain call in baseball.
Right.
And like they're just like cheering me. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget that, man. The getting pelted and stuff, like and running. Those people were so angry. You don't understand how crazy people get. In the high school level, especially because parents love to hear their kid's name, whether it's on radio or, what we do with video productions and stuff like that. People love that, and I love that.
We try to get names.
Yeah, we messed up. What was the name we messed up of the South Charleston kid?
Jason Barnett.
Yeah, we did. We messed that up.
Had it written down wrong.
But we corrected it though.
Yeah. After his mom got on to me.
Yeah.
Social media.
But they love hearing their kid, and the kid loves it too. They love getting highlighted. And that's what's the beauty of what you guys do with video productions, because now you can even take stuff and clips and I saw Zach Green did that little thing for the Browning kid.
Yeah.
And some of that footage was from your all's broadcast, which is really cool. That kid can ball, by the way.
He can't.
He looks good.
Just another Browning from Logan County.
Yeah. I mean, that kid, I watched that, and that kid's got some, I mean, he does it all over the court. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got some moves. I like that kid. But, no, that's a great thing to do that. But they will let you know if you mess up their kid's name or, I mean, it's rewarding to do that stuff because when you have parents come up to you, when I did Catholic games, they're like, thank you so much for talking about my kid on the radio, But when you mess up names, they're definitely going to let you know about it. It can get brutal.
Yeah, I've gotten messages about UC names.
Oh, really?
Being messed up, and I'm like, wait, I got all the pronunciations right.
Yeah.
And this was men's volleyball. So I'm like looking, and I asked the guys like, when was this that I messed up?
Yeah.
And the kid's last name Chartier.
Ooh. And I would never get that.
And he's like, last weekend, they were playing down in North Carolina or somewhere. I'm like, wait, I don't travel with the team. I wasn't announcing.
Yeah. That wasn't,
I said, that wasn't me. That's the visiting or the home team down there. They're play-by-play guy. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. So I was like, taking a beating. And I was like, dude, I know your kid because he's been here for 2 years. So.
Yeah, and you're like, I take pride in getting that correct.
Yeah.
You have to.
I want to.
Yeah, you want to. So. I don't know how you keep track of all the names of every. I mean, you do all of it. You do baseball, football, soccer, volleyball. I mean,
I don't have a great memory either, so
I don't know how you keep it together. I
mean, a few times I've, especially during the pandemic, when we were doing all sports in the in winter and spring.
Mm-hmm.
So they pushed football and soccer and everything
That was crazy.
to spring. I would go one morning. I remember this, a Sunday morning. I was doing a doubleheader baseball game.
Yeah.
And then at 7 o'clock that evening, I did a UC women's soccer game. So I went from baseball to soccer. And then Monday evening, I went over to softball. And I was doing softball, and the ball was hit. It was a foul ball down the right field line. I can remember doing this. And I said, ball's lifted over on the right side. It goes out of bounds. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not what you say in baseball.
Yeah.
So then I get a message from one of our SIDs. Her dad always watches the live streams from Florida. They were making fun of me. I'm like, yeah, I did that. So
It's funny.
Sometimes I don't know what day it is or what sport I'm in, but yeah, during that whole pandemic thing, everything was just together.
Right, yeah, I can
crazy.
imagine that, a whole day of stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny how as broadcasters, you remember everything. Like I remember when I would do like in interviews or stuff, I'd go, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh man, I messed that up, or I missed my opportunity, or you just remember those moments. I do. I'm hard on myself anyway, but I always remember stuff like that.
Yeah. As soon as I mess up, I know it, and I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, yikes.
Yeah.
It's always that, I think the opening of a broadcast too, that's always weird.
Yeah.
When you come in, open up, but once you get into it, it's fun.
Most of the time, I write things down.
Yeah, it helps.
Kind of leads me.
But it's just it's such an awkward thing.
Yeah.
The beginning of and people don't realize that unless you do it. Like the beginning of a broadcast.
Scene setter.
Yeah, it's the scene setter. It's always just, it's like it's an extremely important thing to do. The people don't realize that. It's the most important other than, getting their names correctly and knowing what inning you're in.
Well, the good thing about college, you got most SIDs give you the pronunciation guides. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I always admire those play-by-play guys, the voices or whatever that can really, Jack Fleming, who did that so great when he was the voice of the Mountaineers. Guys can really set it up. There's an art to that.
Yeah.
Which is it's amazing. Play-by-play in general is just tough.
Yeah. Well,
Color's the easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, but it's
I learned during the pandemic again, doing all those sports at one time, day after day, just to keep it short and simple.
Right.
Don't be I'm not here to tell a story.
Yeah, get in and get out kind of thing. Get to the next play or next whatever.
But, KISS. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. That's the best thing to do.
So.
Yeah, I've been asked to do play-by-play before, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not the guy. I know my skill set is very limited, and I'm just like, nah, I can't do that. Especially like basketball. Basketball is so fast-paced that it's almost impossible to keep up with everything. It's very hard.
You should do volleyball.
I'm sure volleyball is even worse.
It's
really?
Not. No, it's. I mean, it's a lot of.
If the ball keeps going and going, you're like, it's hit. Like,
well, you don't say it all the time because. Yeah. Well, what I'm doing video.
Right.
So let the video
speak for itself.
Speak for it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's true. Radio broadcast is like you got to say everything.
And I like radio broadcasts.
Yeah.
I like to describe things, especially basketball.
Yeah, because you're really painting a picture when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That's it's all tough. That's credit to you for doing all that, man. Yeah. All those sports and high school too. You do that. What's coming up as far as for you for high school though?
High school, I think our next big event is the softball tournament.
Yeah,
that'll be at Little Creek Park there in South Charleston.
Yeah, I've been looking at the postseason like bracket stuff that people are putting out there. What is sectionals or whatever? Where we?
Yeah, it'll be sectionals and regionals and
so yeah, I've been kind of Tyler Jackson put up one on Facebook. Mm-hmm. That's exciting, man. That's I was never to the old site or whatever, and I've just heard Ryan talk about it. But it's exciting to have it there in South Charleston because that's beautiful over there.
Yeah, last year was the first year that they had it in South Charleston. I think it was going to be there the year before, but the pandemic canceled everything. And it's a good setup. I know people are like, parking, getting in. But when you put that many people in that one area, and I think the city of South Charleston's doing a great job. I mean, they've looked at it and they're making corrections and additions and things like that to make parking better and the experience better. But
Sure.
you know, you get 3 fields. You get 2 there on the rock, and then up on the hill at what we used to call Hilltop is the 3rd field. And Video Productions streams all 3 fields live. And then, of course, they're all turf, so the weather really isn't a
That's a
factor
great
anymore.
thing. That's a great thing.
Yeah, you see a lot more softball fields going to the full turf now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice event. We were up there last year, had great weather last year. But man, it's one of the better events that WVSSAC puts on. I really like it. So.
Yeah, I like it that they moved it over there because all that up there is really nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've talked about this before. I thought it was a great move to make the golf course open to the public. I know they had the kind of the country club thing or whatever. But I like that, too, because it brings more opportunities for people to come up there and do the thing with the golf course.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And then all that park and everything they got as you go back there, it's just beautiful up there. I mean, they do a great job. I sound like I'm like a part of the South Charleston
Yeah,
city.
you got your South Charleston.
I knew I had to wear this in here because it's cold, and you see me shivering every once in a while on the camera. But and I've been wearing that same hoodie. I noticed that, by the way. Speaking of noticing things, but I wore the same hoodie in the 2 episodes.
Lakewood.
Yeah, and I'm like, they probably think I have no clothes. Like I just sleep out here, and then I come in and do the podcast. So I was like, I'll mix it up and put this on. But no, it's great that they're doing that over there.
Softball, and then of course we'll continue to do some baseball. We don't do a whole lot of baseball and softball during the regular season. We've done some. Of course, we did the 15-inning game down there at Independence.
Oh yeah,
Shady Spring Independence, where the girl had 34 strikeouts.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the other girl on the other side had 30.
Yes. Hey, speaking of strikeouts, and since we're on softball, I saw Pat Jones, and I know he and his wife are having some things and medical stuff with their 2 babies that were born. But I thought that was great what Nitro did with the donating the funds and stuff. The strikeouts, she had like 24 strikeouts. What's that girl's last name? Is it Elkins?
Elkins, yeah.
That was just a cool thing to see. I thought that was great, and what a great game from
that was last
her.
night.
And, last night.
That was a 13-inning game.
Yeah, 13 inning. I just saw that, and I thought I'd shout that out. That's a. I mean, I see that every day, and I'm hoping everything's turned out okay. And Pat's a great dude, and but I was just kind of looking at that. I just thought I'd shout out that what they were doing over there. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna wrap this up because we've been going. How long have we been going?
Oh, almost an hour.
Okay. I wanted to bring this up because I brought this up on social media since we were talking about the draft. I put up a thing about WVU players. If you had all the players, all-time players, who would you pick number 1 out of all the players? If you were a GM or whatever of a NFL team, who would you pick number 1 out of all the NFL or the WVU players in the history of the program? And we got some good responses and some good traction on it. A lot of majors. Statman O said on Twitter, Tavon, Jeff Fisher absolutely blew it trying to implement him in the NFL. I've never seen a more talented player with guys like Tyreek Hill and Deebo Samuel dominating today's game. He's a blend of both. And he said, otherwise, Chris Henry, RIP. So, Henry had a nice career in the NFL. Mitch Vingle said Darryl Talley. I got a lot of Darryl Talleys, too, which I actually was going to try to put Talley on that thing, but I couldn't find a GIF of him. You know, there's older players, kind of hard to find something to kind of create with the whole GIF thing I had up there. But
they didn't have GIFs back there.
Yeah. So Talley didn't have that. But A.B. Brown on Twitter said Major Harris. The way the game is played now, he would start. He was way before his time. Rob on Twitter said Tavon. I got a couple Tavons, too.
Yeah.
Facebook was pretty active with that, too. A lot of Tavons. Mark Bulger, Hostetler, Sam Huff, Talley, Bruce Urban. People actually did something in the NFL. Chris Ellis says on Facebook. Major Harris, he was ahead of his time. A lot of majors, some Pad Whites.
Sam Huff.
Sam Huff was several of them. So really, I guess it just depends also on, what decade or what time period we're playing football. But, I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty cool.
No Amos Zaraway?
I didn't see any zero ways.
Oh, man.
I didn't see any divines. I saw one Owen Schmidt. That was my buddy from Columbus. He was a fan of Owen Schmidt whenever we were watching together when I was living up there back in 2007, 2006, when it was the beginning, the height of the spread with Pat White and Slayton. I didn't hear any Slaytons either. That was actually kind of, I mean, obviously he went to the NFL for a little bit. But, yeah, that was, thank you for everybody for interacting on Twitter and Facebook.
Zeroay was my man. I love that guy.
First carry against Pitt to the house. I remember that. I was actually living with my dad at the time in the house that he lived in Tornado down here, and I still remember that.
Yeah,
famous Amos Zeroay.
Yep.
He was
I think he's a chef now up in New York.
Yeah, and Slayton. It's funny because Slayton has his own cookbook, and
really?
he's a chef too. So it's kind of interesting. Those two running backs are doing their own thing.
I didn't know
yeah.
See, Tyke Smith, if you stay at WU, you can become a famous chef and write a cookbook. So
there you go. That's what, and the cool thing about it is I think because I had him on and we talked about it some years back now, and it's his mom's recipes mixed in with some of the things that he kind of made of his own. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know where you can buy it, probably Amazon or something, but. Very cool. Cool stuff. But thank you for everybody for interacting on Twitter and Facebook. We're going to try to do that too, and even put out like clips and all that stuff too. So keep the comments coming. Keep watching us here on the HD media platforms, wvgazettemail.com, herald-dispatch.com, all their social media pages, plus the website. They're all archived over at wvgazettemail.com. So you can go to that. Video productions as well. It all kind of hits you at once whenever we premiere our video. So it can go pretty much anywhere you get it. Also, audio side, you can actually can watch it on Spotify too, but the audio side, Apple, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get podcast, we're on there as well. So, yeah, that does it for us, right? We'll be back on Monday. Ryan should be back. We have a guest too on Monday.
I believe Katie Adams.
Katie Adams. Yep. She's going to join us on Monday. So that'll be exciting. Talking some more softball.
Yep.
We're full in with softball, and Marshall's doing a hell of a job this year. So.
I watched, instead of the draft last night, I watched college softball.
Okay.
Florida State and Oklahoma State.
Well, that's two programs that's pretty damn good to watch.
There was a walk-off, couple errors in that bottom of the seventh inning on Oklahoma State, and Florida State won it, so on a walk-off.
That makes Ryan happy, as he is a Florida State fan. All right,
and
that does it
for fan.
Yeah, he's a softball. Well, he has to be because no other program in Florida State's doing well. No, he's a softball fan too, but there you go. All right, we'll be back on Monday. Thank you for watching and listening to the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt. Take care.